Hey there, it's Jenny McGarvey, and I want to share with you some entries in my book journal. So, this is how the 4x6 prints look when they first come out of the printer. This is the template that I have on my Pick Frame app. I have had this app for probably 10 years. I mean, I might be exaggerating a tiny bit, but not much. And so I know that it's a little bit different these days. Back in the day, I paid like 199 and, whatever. I can use the templates that includes. So you don't need to use Pick Frame though. You just need to use a different photo collage app. And that will help you get the photos down to the size that you want. These are approximately 1.5 by 1 inches. And that's the size that fits in this journal, and I'm really happy with that. Like, I like the size of the pictures. I don't want them to be bigger, and if they were any smaller, I probably couldn't really see them. So I do draw the lines in and then stamp around it before I add my notes about each book. If you haven't watched any of my previous book journaling videos, a brief synopsis is that I want enough information to keep track of the books that I read, but I don't want this to be some long, lengthy situation. I want it to be short, concise, and a notation of each book that I complete in the year or whatever time period this book ends up being for. So I finished Onyx Storm. Obviously, if you are a fan of these books or Rebecca Yarros, this was a widely anticipated book and it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was probably my least favorite so far of the three, but I definitely thought it was good. I definitely liked it. And I look forward to the fourth in a couple of years. I will say that I do think the second one is my favorite one so far. But, we all get to have our own opinions about those things. It was just the one that spoke the most to me. So I just like to write a sentence or two. And usually it has to do with how much I liked it in some form. Sometimes about the audio, if it's audio, sometimes about the pacing. Those are just things that stand out to me when I'm finished with the book. Those things are usually what gets put in the book journal, like in that little spot, which the stamp says my thoughts on this book. So for me, that works great because I just want thoughts. I don't want a review. I don't want a synopsis. I don't want any of those things. I just want my personal thoughts and what I'm feeling at that moment. Because again, I'm really just trying to record the books that I read in that year. I'm not trying to do a whole lengthy review. I can do that on any app that I choose. So this works really well for me. So I like to read a variety of books. So I like to read a variety of authors in terms of race and nationality and subject matter in terms of thrillers versus romance versus all of that. I just believe reading diversely in all of the categories makes my personal experience so much more rich. I learned so much about thoughts, feelings, situations, facts. I mean, just so many things by reading not only the same type of book by the same type of author over and over again. And that's what's important to me. Now, grand scheme of things, I really enjoyed this one. It was good. It reminded me of the most recent Jodi Picoult book, the one about Shakespeare, in that we're talking about the biases in this particular case in the play or Broadway, that type of industry, and the biases towards white men. And at least, in the time period of this book, which I'm not exactly clear what that is, if it's current day or if it's in the past, or I don't know anything about this particular industry. So I would imagine it's probably very much like all of the industries if I was a guessing person. But that's what this book is about. And then about the relationships of people that are surrounding these stories. And I thought it was really, really good. And I absolutely, positively, 100% loved the ending. Like, I thought the ending was fantastic. I was super drawn at the beginning, and then it ended, was just so good. The middle was great. It was totally a good read. I enjoyed the book, but the end is what really solidified this being a fantastic book for me. All right, so I have been listening to a lot of books recently. It just is sort of the way that things go. It's not because I prefer audiobooks, though I do love audiobooks. It's just that I can listen to them when I do so many things. And that is not the case with obviously reading a physical book. And so I have been listening to so many because I can do that, listen to them when I drive, when I walk my dogs, when I do the dishes, load the dishwasher, all that kind of stuff, right? And so it just works out because I'm able to listen. It ends up being several hours a day that I'm able to listen to books. And so I absolutely love that. It's just been such a joy for me. And I recently listened to Famous Last Words, and I really enjoyed it. And this was a different kind of story. I mean, really just kind of a mystery, I guess, in theory. But this woman has absolutely no idea what's going on with her husband. Like, what just happened? And as the book unfurls, most of it really seems to be about like this sort of lingering question and her feelings, which kind of grow to a point where you really feel them. Like, there's a line in the book where she says, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. And it's just so palpable. And then the book ends, and again, a great twist that I really enjoyed. And yeah, the book was just really great. Great narrators, great story, all of that. I really enjoyed it very much. So I've been on a really great streak recently. I have been reading a lot of really great books. Now, I will say that I am typically really good at selecting books to read or listen to that I will enjoy. Sometimes I'm not as great at it. Like, I will see one that, oh, everybody loves this one, and then I'll listen to it and I'll be like, yeah, it was good. I liked it. But maybe I didn't absolutely positively love it, right? But for the most part, I don't really ever have anything, to be perfectly honest, if I thought it was below a 3, I would probably just quit because there are so many good books out there. I don't feel the need to slog through books that I don't love. But there have just been so many 4s and 5s that I feel so in love with listening to books. It's really such a joy, such a great hobby. Obviously, reading physical books is also a fantastic hobby as well that I really love. But the addition of audiobooks in my life about 18 months ago has really changed everything. So that is it for me in these 4 entries in my book journal. If you have any questions about the process, let me know and I would be more than happy to get back to you. Thank you so much and make it a great day.